friends. Welcome to Story Behind Podcast. This is the show for people who love hearing a good story and who believe the world could use more positivity. We're the team behind GodUpdates and God2, and we hope these weekly short stories will brighten your day.
She's raising 2 sons with a rare condition and showing others how they thrive. Written by Michaela Gordoni, read by Julie Provost. Madison Sisson knew that both of her sons would have some differences, like herself. But when doctors told her to abort, she refused. The value of the boys' lives was no less than that of any other kids. Now she's showing the world how her boys are happy and thriving with LAD syndrome. Madison and her sons were born with LAD syndrome. It's a rare genetic disorder that can have a range of anomalies, like the inability to cry, kidney dysfunction, and physical abnormalities. Madison has only 4 fingers on one of her hands, but her symptoms are not very severe. Both of her sons, Riker and Rhett, have extremely rare variants of the condition. They both have upper limb differences, hearing differences, and kidney differences. Madison, 34, never lived like LAD lessened her quality of life. She knew her kids would have a 50% chance of getting the same disease, but her dream was to have a family. Hoping for the best, she became pregnant with Riker at 21. I remember we went home and cried, Madison said after her first ultrasound, which showed Riker was missing a left arm. It was a terrifying pregnancy. I didn't share it with anyone, not out of shame, for my own emotional protection. I needed to hold on to some normalcy. Some doctors mentioned termination, but Madison and her husband Kane wanted their baby. Prenatal testing didn't test positive for LAD. They found out after Riker was born that he had the condition. It was really shocking to us, Madison said. We thought we had beaten the odds. In 2020, the couple prepared for IVF to reduce the risk of LAD in their next pregnancy. However, Madison became pregnant naturally, unexpectedly. Honestly, we were terrified, she said. After everything with Riker, we didn't know what to expect. Rhett was born with shortened upper limbs and complete hearing loss. Madison felt very overwhelmed 2 months after his birth. I called Kane sobbing on the freeway, she said. And he said, whatever is meant to be has already been written. It is what it is, we just keep moving forward. They maintained that mindset, and now they share the boys' journey on social media, showing everyone how much they can accomplish. Riker, now 11, loves showing everyone how he can eat and play video games with his feet. He's really the one who started all this. Just this morning, as I dropped him off at school, he said, Mom, maybe tonight we can take a video of me playing video games so I can show everyone how to do it, Madison said. Riker's video of himself, his mom, and Rhett making burgers has over 8.6 million views. Madison explained that many people think Riker's feet are dirty. However, Riker constantly washes his feet so that he can perform different tasks. Honestly, they're probably cleaner than most people's hands, she said. So many of the comments we get are negative, people saying Riker is going to struggle his whole life, she said. But that's exactly why we share the adaptive tools and show how he does things. We want to change the way people view disability. It's not about living a horrible life or struggling forever. When Riker was old enough, around age 8, he had a hard time accepting his differences. One night, he cried to his mom, "Why am I like this?" That was a really hard moment as a parent, Madison said. I sat with him and told him, God makes everybody different. Sometimes on the outside, sometimes on the inside. No 2 people are exactly the same. You can see your difference, like how you have 1 arm and mommy has 2, or how I have 4 fingers and daddy has all of his. But everyone has something that makes them unique. Riker is now happily independent, goes to public school, and is in general education classes. They've given him a lot of tools in their home that make activities like taking a shower easier and accessible for him. For the most part, he's got it down, Madison says. He writes with his feet, so he has a special chair at his desk and another one at lunch for positioning. The only time he might ask for help is when his foot gets tired. Right now, we're not doing sleepovers or letting him go to friends' houses unless we're really close with the family, Madison said. He's good about asking for help, but he's at a vulnerable age. We want to protect his dignity and independence as much as we can. Rhett goes to therapy multiple times a week and attends a preschool for deaf children. Madison believes that having an older brother with similar differences will be very helpful to him. We're really lucky, she adds. Our family's amazing. They love our boys like their own. They've been a huge part of the journey, and we feel incredibly fortunate to have that kind of support. Madison is proud of her family and of Riker's handling of the situation. If someone stares at him, he shrugs it off. She's very encouraged by most of the comments she receives on their videos. My boys are super special, and it's just been really fun sharing them, because we think they're so special. But having you guys watch them and seeing what they do, people are like, that's amazing, and we're like, yeah, it is, Madison told her TikTok viewers. It's wonderful that Madison's boys are independent and competent. They have differences, but that doesn't mean that they don't have whole, joyful lives. They are happy and have great supportive parents and will surely grow to do great things. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. Elderly pen pals turn 100 and have been writing letters for more than 80 years. Written by Alyssa Forsberg, read by Julie Provost. A pair of elderly pen pals have recently turned 100 years old after writing to each other for the past 80 years. Jeff Banks from Devon, England, and Celesta Byrne from New Jersey have set the record for the world's oldest pen pals. In 1938, after being paired up during an educational project, Jeff and Celesta started writing to each other at just 16 years old. And 84 years later, the two are still pen pals. Somehow I ended up with this letter from an American girl, and we just keep writing ever since, shared Jeff. The two even continued to keep in touch while Jeff was serving in World War II. Celesta shared that even after all these years of communication, they never became romantically involved. We're just friends, like people who live next door, said Celesta. She's a very interesting person. She always been there to write to, even if it was just birthday cards and Christmas cards, Jeff shared. In one of my early letters, I sent a copy of a British paper in 1953, which had Queen Elizabeth II's coronation on the front of it. But we generally just chat about our daily lives and our families, and put the world to rights, you know? When putting pen to paper became more difficult for Jeff, the pen pals switched to sending emails back and forth. And recently, they had their first Zoom call together. It's nice to hear his voice, Celesta said. After all these years of writing, the 100-year-olds only met for the first time in 2002, when Jeff was visiting New York during Christmas. They reunited again 2 years later when Celesta had Jeff over for lunch at her home in New Jersey when he was in the area. What a sweet story about a friendship that has stood the test of time.
Thank you so much for listening to Story Behind Podcast. We're really glad you joined us for this week's story. To see photos and videos that may have been referenced in this episode, check out the links in the show notes. And if you enjoyed what you heard today, subscribe to our podcast, and please tell a friend about us. We'd also love it if you'd rate us and leave us a review. It really does help more people find us. Story Behind is a Salem Web Network production.
Hey, I'm Jeff King, the president of Persecution.org and the host of Faith Under Fire, where we examine threats to the faith and the transformative spiritual lessons of the persecuted church. If you're a deep Christian looking for life-changing content or just trying to make sense of political attacks on the faith, come listen to Faith Under Fire.